So, you've finally done the reset, and life no longer feels like you have a million tabs all open at once. Now what? For a good while after a reset, everything seems perfect. Your space is clean, your mind is clear, and your tasks are done. But if you don't have a plan of action and goals to work towards, it's far too easy to find yourself repeating the very actions and habits that got you in the rut in the first place, leaving you in this cycle of rut and reset over and over and over again. This is where the plan comes in. The reset was to help you get caught up in all the areas that fell behind in your life. The plan is what's going to keep you going even when things get difficult. Hi, my name is Lao-Ann, and after years and years and years of trying to make my life fit this cookie cutter curated productivity system, I finally found a way to make my productivity system fit my life and not the other way around. And I am here to help everyone else do the exact same thing. Let's get started. To achieve your goals, there are four main steps. One, figure out where you are now. Two, where you want to be. Three, the distance between where you are and where you want to be. And four, figure out how to cross that distance or how to achieve the goals. What people usually do, or what I see people do all the time, is figure out where they want to be and how to solve it. That's it. And sometimes that works. So when motivation is high and everything is perfect, those two steps are sometimes all you need. But when you are feeling at your lowest, when your motivation is tanked, when you're not even sure what you're going to do next, you need the whole haul. You need all four steps so you understand how you're going to get to where you need to go in the, I would say, easiest way to do it. So, jumping straight in with the very first step, which is understanding where you are now. To get to where you want to go, you first need to understand where you are now. When you open up your Google Maps, when you're trying to find your direction, it usually starts with show your current location. So, look at where you are now. What are the things you do on a day-to-day basis or a week-to-week basis? And I know this seems a bit intimidating. You don't have to do a minute by minute summary. You just need a general idea. What do you normally do in a week? What do you normally do in a day? You can write this out, the good and the bad. That is important. Once you've written these out, you can see what you do and how much of your time you spend doing it. An example is I usually go to the markets on Friday, and I know that Friday is a very busy day. I'm usually spending most of my time at the market, then when I come back home, preparing food, cooking for the week ahead. This also can help you realize how much time you're not spending things you want to be doing. I When I did this, I realized that I wanted to do a lot more reading, but I wasn't really making time for it, even though it's something that I really loved to do. And that showed me one of the issues or one of the things that I could add to it. I was also not spending as much time as I wanted to writing. Identifying these things is a really, really good way to help you get started and give you a sort of direction as to where you're going to go. Now, the next step, step two, where you want to be. This is something that pretty much everyone already knows how to do, but I'm still going to explain it. Where do you want to be? Now, the best time for me would be a year from now. A lot of people have been doing quarterly goal setting, and I think that's great. But for some reason, a quarter seems both too long and too short for me. So what I do instead is I pick a year for the length of it, and that gives me enough hope and motivation and inspiration to believe, yeah, I can transform my life in a year. And then I also pick a month because that's close enough for me to actually start making these incremental, little by little plans that I can stick to in just 30 or 31 days. So we're figuring out where we want to be. That seems pretty easy, right? Who do you want to be? What characteristics do you want to have? What do you want to have accomplished by the time this year is up? We're starting with the year. So, what do you want to do? What have you accomplished by this time next year? I'm not going to spend too much time on this so you don't end in this planning paralysis. So, we'll immediately just move on to the next step, which is figuring out the gap between where you want to be and where you are. What is the difference? How big of a gap is there, and what are the things that you think are contributing to this huge gap? Let's say in a year, I want to have written the first draft of my book. That's great. By June, it's almost June anyway, but by June next year, I want to have finished the first draft of my book. But I haven't even started writing it. So that's a pretty big gap, right? What is the obstacle? The obstacle is I feel like I don't have time. Now, listen to me when I say feel, because often I think we have a lot more time than we think we do. We just spend a lot of the time on some other things that are not ideal. When you're too focused on living day to day, you end up not spending as much time as you want on the bigger picture things and only handling things in your immediate space. So I feel like I don't have enough time. I want to read more. I feel like I don't have enough time. I don't know what to read. Just write down all of these obstacles, all of these differences between you and your current self. Okay, so you figured out where you are, where you want to be, and the distance or the gap between these two places. Next thing you need to do is figure out how to solve it. And the solution is, well, pretty simple. All you need to do is set and follow simple, achievable steps to close that gap. Think about it. You want to go from the first floor to the second floor, you take stairs. Let's assume there's no elevator. You take the stairs. Now, if these stairs are huge, super big, you have to stretch all the way to get to them. You wouldn't want to climb them. And if you have to, it would be really, really hard. But if instead of four giant stairs, there are about 20 or so medium, normal sized stairs, it wouldn't be too much of a bother to go up them. It's just that you get tired at the end, but that's what breaks it for. So set smaller, more achievable steps that you can actually follow to get to your goals. Let's say I want to write the first draft of my novel by this time next year, but my novel is about 100,000 words. It would be way easier for me to say I'll write 500 words per day than for me to go straight up with I want to write 100,000 words. Even if I reduce it to I want to write 25,000 words every 3 months, I would it would still feel overwhelming for me because I would be focused so much on that great big goal that I would just close my mind onto how to achieve it. So if you want to go a bit deeper into the planning, you can add in an extra step, which is planning by month, or planning every 2 weeks. This sort of narrows your time frame a bit, but also gives you enough time for it to be flexible that you can see the change. Tracking monthly is such a huge game changer when you're planning productivity because a month is long enough that you can see change, but short enough that it doesn't feel like you're just going on and on with no end in sight. Especially once you get to the end of the month where you can check in on yourself, check in on your goals, and see how it's changed from the beginning of the month. I would definitely suggest habit tracking because not only do they give you a sense of accomplishment every time you check off a goal, you can also feel this sense of accountability. At the end of every day, you want to say, hey, I did a little something for my goal and I can check it off just to show that I have. Now, if you want more information on how to plan your months, I will leave my video on monthly planning in the description that you can check out. And remember, your goal should fit your lifestyle and not the other way around. So, see you around. Happy planning. And remember, God loves you, I love you, and you are amazing. Bye.